Hey, what's up, guys? Good afternoon. Today, we're going to be reacting to First Take, and let's see what type of slander they have served up on the menu. I haven't seen these videos yet, but people have been DMing me, telling me to react to it. I don't know what they said. They probably said some crazy stuff. Maybe not. Sometimes they stay neutral. So it'll be interesting to see, what these guys are about to try to say today. So join me. We will get into the comment section as well, so you guys have a voice. You're able to give your opinions as well. What's up, big baby? We'll all be able to chime in. So join me, guys, for this quick little breakdown, and hopefully we're able to defend ourselves today. Let's see. All right, let's start off with this video right here. It says Stephen A reacts to Lakers blowout loss to the Utah Jazz. So let's see what these knee-jerk reactors are going to say today.
Are you giving LA a pass last night just based on all the injuries they've been dealing with?
For me personally, no. If you want to go first, Max, I'll let you. But for me personally, I'm not giving the Lakers a pass. Not based off of what I saw last night. Max, if you want to go first, go ahead, because I got a lot to say. But go ahead, Max.
Well, I would just say, it makes no difference to me. If you want to respond to it, then the answer is yes, of course they get a pass. Of course they get a pass because this team was constructed top heavy. They don't have a big three, they got a big two. Not just a big two, a giant two, an MVP two, an historically great two. But what that means is the rest of the roster is going to be a little thinner than some other rosters. Now, I know you look at when LeBron and AD are there, they don't look thin. They have a lot of guys doing a lot of things, but the presence of those two enable those guys to do those things. You know who else isn't there? Dennis Schroeder. And the thing about any team is you need several players who can do the following. They have to be able to get you into your offense and go get their own shot. If they can't create that way in those two ways combined, really, you got a problem. No team has no one like that in their offense. They wouldn't be able to play in the league. The Lakers really have two guys like that in the offense, LeBron and Schroeder. Why is LeBron playing so many minutes? Because without Schroeder, they got one guy, and now they don't have AD. So all those complementary pieces, it's not the same. I love Talen Horton-Tucker, and he can create for himself, but is he going to really create for others? Everyone else is a role player to one degree or another, to one degree of effectiveness or another in their role, but they're role players. And so you really look at LeBron and a bunch of role players in a long season without the only other guy who can create and get you into the offense, without the other big two on his prime partner on a top-heavy team, and then they run into a buzzsaw. The Jazz are the hottest team in the league, playing the most perfect basketball in the league, and the Lakers are on the road. Yeah, they get a pass for last night.
All right. What's up, everybody? Everybody just joining the stream. So Max's take is basically we get a pass because of injuries, and we went up against the hottest team in the league. I mean, nothing we don't know there. We don't want to pass necessarily. Lakers have to play with better effort, so we do have to be held accountable regardless of whatever Max just said. But I don't disagree with him. Look, at the end of the day, he's right. We have two superstars and a bunch of role players. You can't expect the role players to play like stars when one of your major superstars is injured. Now, we've been getting a lot of production from guys like Trez, Kuz, and guys like Dennis when he was on the floor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're stars as of right now. So I do understand that point. However, there's no excuses. So they got to play harder. They got to play smarter. They got to play better. What's up, Danny? What's up, everybody? They just got to be better, period. But I do like the fact that he's kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. Now, I know exactly what Steve, before I even watch this, I guarantee you, I swear to God, I have not, maybe I shouldn't swear to God, but I swear that I haven't seen this video, guys. It's my first time. So, but I can already kind of anticipate that Stephen A is going to go off the rails because he's usually the kooky one. He's the one that goes off and says something outlandish. He'll probably say, I might, he might go out on a limb and say like, oh, the Lakers, if they fall to a certain seed, they might not even make it out of the first round. I anticipate something ridiculous. So let's just play this and see what Mr. Stephen A says.
I can't give them a pass, Max Kellerman, because I'm just looking at the manner in which they got destroyed. And we're going to get into the Utah Jazz a little bit later, but I will say this to America. The Utah Jazz have hit 53 pointers in the last two games. No team in NBA history, not even the Golden State Warriors, have done that. This team is scary. And I'm not going to lie, Max, I didn't see it. We just had this conversation a couple of weeks ago when you were raving about the Utah Jazz. I didn't see it.
I'll give him that.
Donovan Mitchell, and I said, I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it.
I'll give him that for
and
sure.
I looked at the Lakers last night, and the reason why I don't give them a pass, it's not just because the Jazz were making shots. It's how little resistance they posed. You know what? You can struggle without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder offensively. What's your excuse defensively? This is a Frank Vogel defensively coached team. Frank Vogel knows a thing or two about coaching defense. That's why he got the head coaching job to begin with, even though he wasn't the Lakers' first choice, because of the job that he did in Indiana all of those years when they were trying to compete for an Eastern Conference crown against LeBron James and Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat. But in the end, I look at the Los Angeles Lakers. Just because Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder's not there doesn't mean that you're supposed to get out and play defense. Stay in front of your man. Stay with your man.
Facts.
Not letting everybody have a damn layup line for crying out loud, or get wide open 3-point shots. Where's the defensive intensity? Where's the pride? Where's the pride? And I'm not talking about LeBron James. I'm not talking about him at all, because the man shows up. And let's give credit where credit is due. He just didn't have any help. I'm looking at everybody else in between. I'm looking at a Morris. I'm looking at a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I'm looking at an Alex Caruso. I'm looking at all of these other guys.
The way he said
I'm just saying, defense for the most part is about effort. And when the Jazz show up, I understand that Rudy Gobert is a force. I understand that Donovan Mitchell is a stud.
All right, so far he's on point, guys. I can't even hate on anything he said. He's absolutely on point. You know, there's no excuse for the poor defensive effort and the way that the Lakers have been playing as of late. So yeah, they don't deserve a pass. I'll give Stephen A the green light here, but we do also have to consider that injuries factor into this. But yeah, for effort, Stephen A's right, and outside of LeBron James, more people have to step up for sure. But he's right on that. I'll give him that.
Mike Conley Jr. did miss a shot in the first half. Okay, and I'm just looking at them right now for the first 6. I mean, at halftime, the Utah Jazz had went 6.
Thanks, Isaac. Appreciate you, bro.
Hitting 43 threes. I understand that's a problem until I'm looking and I'm saying, damn, how much more wide open can they be? Now, there's a lot that goes into that. And again, we'll get into that when we get into the subject on the Utah Jazz. But in the end, I'm going to look at the Los Angeles Lakers. You're champions. And yes, a regular season game. And I'm not going to overblow it. I'm simply talking about, if you know you don't have Anthony Davis, and you know you don't have Dennis Schroeder, and Rajon Rondo is no longer there, and Dwight Howard is no longer there, and JaVale McGee is no longer there, I'm going to blame one or two things. I'm going to blame effort, or I'm going to blame Rob Pelinka. Because you can't lose both of McGee and Dwight Howard, even though Montrezl Harrell is what you added to the mix. You can't. It's either effort, or it's the fact that those dudes ain't there, and you have no rim protection whatsoever. It's one or the other. But either way you slice it, as good as Utah is and as good as they look, it's about the Lakers too. And as we sit here and talk about the Lakers, Max, that's what I walk away looking at. Effort, or, well, excuse me, you let two bigs get away that you shouldn't let get away.
Well, it's fair to say, hey, guys, you got to step up. KCP, Caruso, everybody, you got to step up. You know, especially with also in Schroeder's absence. The fact is they're missing 2 of their 3 best.
Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate you, bro.
Take a 3rd best player on the team. Certainly a 3rd most important player. To me, it's Schroeder. They don't have AD and they don't have Schroeder. That's 1. 2. Remember when I said there's a silver lining in AD's injury, provided he comes back as AD? Because you're right when you say he better come back as AD. They ain't going to beat the Nets. That's right. But maybe not the Jazz. But provided he comes back as AD, what I say, LeBron in Cleveland and in Miami, in recent years,
Hey, Jennifer, how you doing?
Years, early in the season, he's trying to figure out what he needs to do to lead a group of guys to the promised land.
That's facts.
He's in the finals every year, so he always figures it out. But early on, sometimes we'll see. Remember back in the day, the Heat don't have a great record. The Cavs don't have a great record because
That's true.
he's figuring it out. He needs to know who I can rely on. Like, who can LeBron rely on? What positions does he need to put them in so if they fail at one thing, they can succeed at another?
What's up, Kevin?
It usually takes, like, it's an incubation period, basically, with LeBron. I think we're also seeing that. There's some fatigue, yes. You're right, some guys need a little more effort would be nice. But really, it's AD's not there, and Schroeder's not there, and LeBron's trying to figure the rest of these guys out. And they're on the road. They
Absolutely.
ran into a buzzsaw. Stephen A., they get a pass from me.
I mean, that's fair. That's pretty much the video right there. They didn't say nothing too crazy today, guys, to be honest. I feel like they were on point. I mean, Stephen A. They're both right. You could technically give them a pass due to injuries and the position we were. I'm not going to give them a pass. I hold them accountable, similar to Stephen A. I feel like they need to, they need to step up and play with more effort. I mean, Stephen A. already touched on that, so I'm not going to repeat what he said. But yeah, what do you guys think in the comment section? She said, "I'm here at work." That's what's up. That's what's up. They just analysts. They're not a player. I mean, yeah, that's a fact. But they can still break down the game from time to time. He said, "No pass from Dom." I agree. Like, you can't give them a pass for the effort was trash last night. After that first quarter, the effort just stopped. I don't know what it was. It's like they got discouraged by the shots that Utah was hitting. But yeah, I mean, I thought this video was going to be, they're going to say some crazy, like sometimes they really say some out of control stuff. Now let's see if there's anything else that came out, because people were telling me, Dan, react to ESPN. So I thought something real crazy was about to go off. Let's see if it says Perkins and it says LeBron and the Lakers will regroup and come back strong. All right, let's hear this take right here. I'm curious. We gotta go through the little commercial, so I'm just gonna mute it while they go through the little commercial. But yeah, guys, pretty much they didn't say anything too crazy. That's basically what we broke down in the recap last night. But let's see, maybe it was this take they were talking about. Let's see.
Be sure to join us mañana on First Take.
Jameson, appreciate you, bro.
Superstar Zion
He said, "I'm going to blame the effort on 50-50 balls because Rob P has done his job." I agree.
Best dunkers are in the league, and obviously so much more.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the donation. All right, let's see what they got to say right here. Different take.
All right, Joe, we saw the Lakers lose again last night. This was a beatdown in Salt Lake City by 25. They've now lost 4 straight. Big Perk in the building. Kendrick, top of the morning, more like afternoon, depending.
Kendrick Perkins
right
he's a LeBron fan, so let's see. He's probably going to have our back.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Before you start, all right, let me just say this. Vucevic. Because it tickled Stephen A. yesterday because I couldn't get it out. But this ain't no damn English class anyway. We talking basketball, so sometimes I may mess up names, but I was working on it last night. Vucevic. I got it. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Some of those Eastern European names.
I
appreciate you putting in effort,
Perk's a clown.
Don't worry, Stephen A. still can't say my last name. He's still working on it. We're on like year 10 right now. All right, you're up.
Every one of them getting paid? Absolutely.
That's great. Max got it. Are you giving the Lakers a pass for last night, Perk?
Yeah. You got to give them a pass. Look, let's not overreact to these 4 losses, and let's not.
All right. So far, the majority of them are a lot more forgiving than us Laker fans, I guess, because Stacy just said, "I'm scared for the Lakers. Mark is a big bust." Yeah, he's not a starter, but so far everybody's giving him a pass. Laker fans, we hold our players accountable. We know what they're capable of. We watch every game. I don't feel like these people watch every single game, so we know they're capable of so much better than that. We're deeper than people give us credit for. Now, one thing I won't agree with Max in the previous take was that he said that the Lakers basically only had 2 players they could count on. That's not true. We're pretty deep, but with injuries, like I said, the defense is able to zero in on certain players and just make them work harder. So, that's just the thing is that, that's the thing. We got to show up with effort consistently if we even want to be in these games. Utah was firing on all cylinders. There's no way you can beat them without that. Anyways, continue.
Overreact to them losing to the best team in basketball, which is the Utah Jazz.
The
Utah Jazz is putting everybody over their lap right now and getting them a spanking, especially when they go into Salt Lake City. Let us all remember, yes, I know Anthony Davis is out, but they are missing Dennis Schroeder, who is a huge part of this team and the Lakers' success. The only guy besides LeBron James that is able to create for himself and create for others. Here's another thing. When you're the defending champs, being a former champ myself, every team is going to give you their best shot every single night. And right now, the Lakers they're not at full strength, and they got to be prepared to get everybody's best shot. And last night, going into that Utah game, I knew they were going to lose. I thought they probably would have
He's cutting off. That's not mine. That's on there.
How great of a team the Utah Jazz. That's how great of a team the Utah Jazz are. But here's the thing. This right here proves me wrong because I gave Bob Lakers so much credit and that the Lakers won in the offseason, but this has been a blessing in disguise for everyone, including the Lakers, because right now we're seeing that their role players are really not like that. This is an audition for them. And it's time for them to upgrade even more. Go out there and add more shooting.
I'll give him this. Guys. He says, well, you heard what he said. He believes that we're not as good as he gave us credit for in the offseason. I think they're missing. Is the mic super loud? My bad. The mic super loud. Let me turn it down. Thanks for telling me, bro. I think they're missing the point here. The point is that we're really lacking at the center position. That compromises every other position. Anybody that's played or watched basketball for years knows that you play so much better having a defensive anchor behind you, because now all of a sudden you can gamble on some of the passing lanes a little bit more. You could play more freely on the defensive end, kind of like a free safety in football. Why? Because you know you have that defensive anchor. Even if they get past your first line of defense, guess who's going to be there to at least alter or contest shots? A rim protector. Instead, when you have a flat-footed Gasol, because that's what he is at this point, no disrespect, but I'm just saying a flat-footed Gasol at this point of his career, what's going to happen is, okay, as soon as we break past the first line of defense, it's a free lane to the bucket. And if Gasol rotates with his elephant slow ass over here, all of a sudden we can lob it up to Rudy Gobert or DeAndre Jordan, whoever's up there. So pretty much, again, our defense is compromised. And even when Gasol does the proper rotation, they move the ball. The ball is a lot quicker than the person, especially when that person's marked. Now somebody got to cover over from Mark's guy, and then that person has to cover over. It's like a chain effect. So we have to be able to switch quicker, communicate off of pick and rolls, pick and pops. We need to be able to defend the pick and roll a lot better, and that's compromising us absolutely 110%. They haven't even touched on the subject. This is how I know that these analysts they look at highlights and they look at box scores, and I don't blame them. Obviously, they're analysts. They have to look at other games, so they can't always watch Laker games. But me, as a diehard Laker fan, I watches every minute, every second of mostly every Laker game. I can tell you exactly what the problem is. The problem is the interior defense. And that was the difference. Last season, when we had JaVale during the regular season and Dwight, those guys were taking turns, protecting the rim and basically being a defensive anchor. Now, even if we got beat off the dribble, even if KCP gambled on a steal and he didn't get that, guess who was waiting there in the paint, right? It was either AD or Dwight or one of them. So in the good words of my man Kevin King right here, you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's absolutely right, because in basketball, they always look to exploit the weakest link. So somebody said the mic was too loud. Let me know, guys, if it's too loud. I'm going to continue playing the rest of this. Let me know if it's too loud.
You could go get a guy like AJ Reddick, and they miss JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. Much respect to Marc Gasol, but he's not it right now.
Oh, there you go.
He can't guard pick and rolls. He's not a live threat at the rim. So you may have to go out and try to get a Hassan Whiteside or Andre Drummond. I knew going into that game last night that the Lakers were going to lose because they're short-handed and Utah is a great team. So, yes, I am giving them a pass.
I'm not giving them a pass. And the reason why I'm not giving them a pass is because of what I saw from them defensively. Utah is a great team. They move the basketball exceptionally well. They're exceptionally well coached. I certainly can understand why the Lakers have problems offensively, but defensively, I'm going to look at them. They got blown out last night. And oh, by the way, in 9 of their last 10 games, they've given up at least 104 points.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been giving up triple digits on a regular over the last 9 to 10 games or so. So I'm looking at things from that perspective, and I think it's about effort. Certainly, offensively, you're going to have your struggles, and I totally understand that. And there are adjustments that Frank Vogel has to make until Rob Pelinka can get him some more help in the trade or whatever the case may be before the trading deadline expires specifically. We can deal with all of those things. But I'm just looking at things from an effort standpoint on the defensive side of the ball. I certainly don't expect them to look but so bad. I don't expect to witness wide open shots. I don't expect the interior to look like a layup line. I don't expect those kind of things. I expect more from the Lakers in that regard. And that's all I mean. It's nothing to be overly alarmed about. We understand the loss of Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder is significant. We get that. I definitely agree with you, Big Perk, that Pelinka and those boys got to go out because of the audition that these guys have been going through. A lot of them aren't measuring up to snuff. All of that's true. But Frank Vogel is a head coach in the National Basketball Association because of what he preaches and what he teaches on the defensive side of the ball. And I didn't see much of that last night, and that was my issue.
Well, I'm going to cut them off right there. They're pretty much repeating themselves. So, yeah, I absolutely 110% agree. I mean, they were pretty spot on. They were a lot more spot on than the people over there at first what is it called? Undisputed. So I'll give them credit. They pretty much broke it down tonight. Today. But we do have to improve that center position. Perk actually touched on the subject I had just mentioned. We can't defend the pick and roll, pick and pop, nothing right now. We are being exposed there. We've been exposed throughout the season. I was going to give Mark 10 games to adjust, but by like game number 8, I was sold already that he is not a starting center. So, again, sometimes these guys' points are off, but tonight they're pretty on. Now, I want to take a moment right here to read my man's comment, man. I appreciate the donation, bro. He said, roll with Ryan. He said, hey, Dan, I've been a fan of your channel for years. Appreciate that. He said, I just opened up a restaurant in the IE called I Love Chicken and Waffles. He said, you should come check us out. Bro, I'd love to, man. You're going to have to drop the location or follow me on Twitter and DM me. I definitely love that. Support small businesses, guys. Go ahead and check. If you guys are in the Inland Empire, check them out. It's called I Love Chicken and Waffles. It's a pretty unique name. You just type it in GPS. I probably find it myself. So I appreciate you, bro. I'm definitely going to check you out at some point. Ryan, right? Is that your name? I'm not sure if that's your name, bro. But hit me up, man. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow me at Dan a Lakers fan. We set something up. He said the Lakers will not make it out of the West unless they get a rim protector point guard that can drive, dish, and shoot. I agree. Look, I don't know about a point guard that can drive, dish, and shoot, but we need a big man. We do need a big man. It's going to be extremely hard to make it out the West with Marc Gasol at the helm because I feel like he's been exposed now. He's been exposed. Unfortunately, I feel like everybody knows Marc Gasol is a runway, for you to take off on. So, yep. I'm holding the general manager and coach accountable because this strategy is not working out. They've got to make some moves before it's too late. I also agree with that. There's no doubt in my mind that moves will be made. If one thing Rob has proven since he took over is that he's not one to just, lay over and take it. He's not going to do that. He's not stubborn. He sees the problem, I'm sure, and something will be done. Obviously, we just cleared out the roster spot for Quinn Cook. So we have 2 open roster spots, and I think a little over 1.7 mil in cap. So I don't know how they're going to split that up or whatnot, but it's definitely interesting to see what goes on. When is the trade deadline? I believe it's after March. I think it's like around April. I think it switched around because due to the COVID schedule changing. I'm not exactly sure. I forgot the exact date, but if somebody could just Google that for me right now. There you go, March 25th, right before April. He said, Dan, he said, do you think this is Kuzma's last year if we don't win the chip? I don't know why everybody's finger pointing on Kuz. He's been playing exceptionally well. I get it. He has trade value. I understand that. So if you can get an upgrade, then I wouldn't mind. But I love what Kuz has brought to the table, man. I don't think this is the right moment to really even bring up his name at all, to be honest with you. I don't feel like Kuz is a problem. Like, it's not even so much about the stats. It's just more about he's improved on defense. He's hustling, rebounding, helping us with the little hustle plays, man. And that's what we need from him. Bro, I can't stand Vogel. It's too early, my brother. I know he struggled here and there, but it's still early, man. I still give him the benefit of the doubt. He is a championship coach. Like Stephen A. just mentioned, Frank Vogel is not somebody he's somebody that needs to be held accountable defensively because he is a defensive-minded coach. So that's why the effort last night was not acceptable, and he has to do something about it. Again, I didn't agree with the move to bench Kyle Kuzma in favor of Markieff. Kuz has been playing miles ahead of Markieff Morris. Why bench somebody good? Reward them. I never understood why players do this. I know they want to mix it up and all this, but that's what training camp and preseason's for. You should know. It should be like a written rule that if Anthony Davis is out, Kuz should start automatically. He's the next best option there at the power forward position. But I was happy about THC starting, and to start off the game, he did provide us with a little spark. He said, Kuz is learning to be a garbage man. Totally awesome. Love it, right? He's like a baby Dennis Rodman. Caruso's been playing so bad in the offensive end. Well, they're all struggling, man. KCP, Wesley Matthews, all of our guards are really struggling offensively, except for Dennis Schroeder. He's probably been the most consistent guard we've had all season, to be honest with you. I think he's averaging like 15 right now. But all in all, this video was about just, I don't want to get too much into the Lakers stuff because I just wanted to break down what First Take said. People were DMing me, telling me to go break it down. So I did that. So this segment, I'm going to end the video here in just a little bit. But again, a reminder, man, go shout out to my homie right here. Definitely go check out it. I respect the heck out of entrepreneurs, man. Anybody who starts a business has my full respect. I know how much work goes into it. I just paid my taxes, so I know what's up. And my man right here, definitely show love and support for small businesses, man. I love chicken and waffles in the Inland Empire, man. I wish you would have gave us a little bit more information, but y'all could always type it in Google, and who knows, y'all might find me there. So check him out. I'm probably going to check him out sooner rather than later, and hopefully, hopefully he touches bases with me. Final questions before I get off. My brother right here, practice, stop loafing. He said, Coach, don't cater to certain players. Take off what doesn't fit. Drive and post. He said, if you can't shoot, go Lakers. I agree with all that. We do have to adjust and do exactly what we have to do. He said, Dan, you should watch Broussard's Undisputed. The other dude was talking crazy. Was he? Wow, don't tempt me, man, because I'll head over there right now before I even get off. I'm living on the East. Oh, sorry to hear that, Jennifer. But who knows? Maybe one day you'll come visit and definitely check out my brother right here. Now let's go see. Somebody said Undisputed, huh? Let's do that then. Let's do that. Let's see. Today, let's see what these crazy. Oh, they did talk about the Kobe logo. I saw that on Twitter. All right. Here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna do that for my bro right here, man, because he was saying that they were talking crazy. Let me read this commercial. So I definitely want to hear what they got to say. Let's see. Let's break it down real quick before I get off. All right, here goes. Here goes. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get upset? All right.
The Utah Jazz handed LeBron and the Lakers their worst defeat of the NBA season last night in a 114-89 blowout. The four-game losing streak matches the longest the Lakers have had in the past two seasons. LA's next three games, oh boy, Portland, Golden State, Phoenix. After the game, LeBron said, quote, "It's a tough stretch for us. You know this won't define who we will be for the rest of the season and for the long haul. That's for sure." Chris Broussard, I know you're chomping at the bit. Big deal or no deal? That LeBron squad got blown out.
Guys, I told you, I've been telling you all week, relax, all right? It's not a big deal. I mean, first of all, let's just look at the facts. The Lakers are without their second and third best players, all right? They're without their second and third highest scores. So you're supposed to go into Utah, which is a great home court advantage, a team that's the hottest in the NBA, and you've got one of your stars, LeBron James, and you're just supposed to beat that team? It could have happened, and it wouldn't have been a big deal that way either. This is not a big deal, guys. It's February 25th. The playoffs, the NBA just announced it yesterday.
No news yet, Martin.
3 months.
No news yet, Martin.
There's plenty of time for the Lakers to right themselves. And I get it. Frank Vogel can't go into the locker room and say what I just said. LeBron James doesn't go into the locker room and say what I just said. They got to keep that urgency. Oh, we got to right this thing. We got to get it. I get all that. But I'm not a Laker. I have I can look at this from the outside.
Right.
I have the wider view.
Gotta stay optimistic for sure.
View. They will be fine. They're not healthy, guys. I actually agree with Markieff Morris and LeBron James when they said this could be good for us. This will be good for us. Because the Lakers probably, outside of LeBron, who's obviously won enough, the other guys are probably reading the press clippings. They're probably watching all these shows and everybody's saying, oh, it's the Lakers in the West. Clippers got nothing for them. Utah's not legit. It's easily the Lakers. They might be seeing that. And now they have to look in the mirror and say, uh-oh, it is going to be tough.
All right. So I kind of agree with Chris here. I did mention to you guys in my post-game recaps a couple of nights ago that this could be a blessing in disguise. Early turmoil if it don't kill you, it makes you stronger. So it could be a bit of a blessing in disguise. I mean, I thought Undisputed has Skip and Shannon. They must be out on vacation because the last couple of days I've only seen these guys on here. But I would like to hear the other guys' opinion as well.
It's not going to be a cakewalk. Now,
Definitely.
Kyle Kuzma and all these other guys, KCP, they have to look in the mirror and say, are we as good as we thought we were? You know, without the buffer of AD there, without Dennis Schroeder there to create plays along with LeBron, are we really all that? This can be good for them. So I'm fine with this. In fact, if I'm the Lakers, if I'm Frank Vogel, if I'm the Brain Trust, I might like it.
I don't know about all that. Nobody could like a 4-game slide and injuries, but I kind of get his point though. But yeah, I'm not sure about liking
I
it.
might like it. So let's get in the gym and work. Let's take that break over All-Star time, rest, get your body right, and come back ready to fight for this Western Conference crown, because it will be a fight.
You know what type of friend you were in school. You know what type of person you were in school, Broussard. You were the playground fight promoter. That's what you were. You started.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You knew the kid was going to get his tail kicked, and he was your friend, and you still promoted that fight. You're
What?
wrong.
He called him an instigator. He said he's an instigator.
I want to hear this, Lamar, before you go. I want to hear this from you quickly, because you sat on here and said this is a must-win.
Yes.
Now, usually when a team loses a must-win, guess what? They go home. It's 1-2-3 Cancun. So now that they've lost this must-win, what's next for the Lakers?
No, this was not an eliminator. This was not a must-win final game of the series. See, you're trying to frame it. You're trying to frame it because you always qualifying, and I like it. I like how you're doing it.
Win.
This was not a must-win.
What are you guys talking about? Get to the point.
From the tournament, you can't make the
Jeez.
playoffs. You can't. It wasn't must-win as in do or die. This was must-win. You are a team that is losing, and you're not just losing. You are in total disarray. To say that this wasn't a must-win in terms of
I agree with you, bro, right here.
stopping
Absolutely.
the losing.
More credit for AD,
Win.
please.
If you even lose, don't lose the way you lost last night. You got Gasol shooting threes. He don't even want to go down low. He don't
Facts.
want no parts of going down low in that paint.
I told you
He
guys
want
this.
nothing to do with it. You got Gobert dominating them in the paint. You got no defense. They did what they wanted to do to this Lakers team, whatever they wanted. And just like we said on the show, they were going to live and die by fast-paced basketball. Didn't work. Small ball didn't work. And the three ball didn't work. Didn't shoot well. Didn't pass well.
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm really not interested in these guys' opinions. They're kind of boring. But I'll tell you this, guys. There's nothing they said that was crazy today. Now we're gonna be checking back every now and then because we need to defend ourselves. This is definitely the platform to do that. But we're gonna be checking back whenever they say something outlandish. DM me on Twitter, message me on Instagram, or just drop a comment in YouTube. But I see these comments. I read them on the daily. If there's something I gotta react to, you know I'm gonna come over here and fight for our right to have a voice, man. Because Laker Nation deserves a platform. And so they didn't say nothing too crazy today. Basically echoed some of our sentiments we had last night on a post-game recap. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I wanted to keep it on the 30. We went a little bit over, but I actually broke down 2 clips. I was only going to break down 1. Thank you guys for the donations, the comments as well. Lakers will be all right. All right, final word. Lakers will be straight. We're 1 roster tweak or 2 away from getting this train back on track. That's all it is. We just got to get back on track. We had 1 up to 7 games in a row this season. That means that something was right. You know, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right now, unfortunately, it is broke, so we do have to fix it a little bit. But we'll get back on track. I have no doubt in my mind. Hopefully, you guys have a wonderful day, man. Much love to all you guys, especially the ones that are watching me from work, man. Much respect. I appreciate that. They're probably in a lunch break over here, giving me their time of day. So appreciate y'all, man. But everybody tuning in, make sure y'all smash that like button. And I'll see you guys here as soon as something breaks or anything goes down. I will be right back after these.